weekend, but we're talking about 10 ways that you can support foster families.
Right here on Foster Life. We'll be right back.
Memorial Day weekend is already here, and it seems like we were just in the dead of winter, and we're on our new set for the first time. You've probably seen commercials, but we're actually live on our set today, and we're excited to be here and thinking about the 3-day weekend. I gotta tell you, this weekend we were at church, and we have children's church, you know, where all the kids go. Well, when we go to church, I have 8 in children's church, and they go and they give you the little ticket and they put the name on them, and then you have to go collect your kids after church. Well, this week church, the sermon was about addiction, and that everybody has kind of an addiction in their life, and what are you struggling with, da 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 da. And so I go to pick up my kids at children's church, and I give her the ticket, and she sees all the kids, and she's rounding them up, and she's looking at me like, wow, you got a lot of kids. And I just looked at her and I said, sex addiction. So that was kind of funny. And then I laughed and I said, not really. But it was a good time. But it is funny because we have so many kids. People just kind of give you that look. And you know what the weirdest thing that people always say to me? Why would you have 10 kids? And I'm just thinking, why wouldn't I? I really like kids, and so we're happy, and that's all good. So we've been doing that. Oh, did you hear the most exciting news this week? I was just so excited.
I can bet that you're talking about the Sesame Street news.
Oh yeah, Sesame Street has a foster child character now.
So exciting!
I know, like for me, like when I was reading it, what's her name?
Carly. Her name's Carly.
Carly with a K.
Yeah, Carly with a K.
Yeah, so Carly with a K. And I just thought, man, this is a huge stride in the foster care community.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that I always hear from kids is they feel like they're different or they're not a part. And so if we're introducing these characters at such a young age, maybe it makes them not different.
Yeah.
So
well, and I think that's what Sesame Street kind of strives for. They always come up with a character who's a little different, who has something. I mean, last year their new character had autism, and this year she's a foster care child. So I think that's wonderful that they'll get a chance to explore these, what they're calling my for now parents.
Yeah.
And, you know, my for now family.
Yep.
I love that. I think that's wonderful.
And I think it was really exciting because our kids, when I was reading this yesterday, they were just really excited that we have this new character that's a foster child and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, woohoo, my hat's off to Sesame Street. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that does a lot for the foster community as well. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can support the foster families and the foster community without fostering. And the reason that this is so important this month is because May is Foster Care Awareness Month.
Yes.
And so if everybody just did a little bit, imagine, like, say you go to church. If everybody in your church just did a little bit of something towards foster care, imagine what a huge difference that would make across the country. And so we're going to give you some ideas today how you can be involved with foster care, with not necessarily taking a kid into your home, although we really need good foster homes. That's always key. But on the other hand, there might be some ways that you can help out without being an actual foster parent. And I'm really excited to talk about this subject, as you can tell, because it's May and it's Foster Care Awareness Month, and this just hopefully will reach a lot of people and people will get involved and help the foster community. When we come back, we're going to break down 10 ways that you can help foster kids and foster families. And every single person that you see on foster TV, on the set or behind the set, is doing this for the kids in care. So I'm asking you today, please say yes to Foster TV, and we promise you that we will do our very best in helping these kids in care. Till next time, thank you. Big weekend coming up. It's Memorial Day weekend, and I love that we are getting closer to summer. We've had the top off the Jeep and stuff. Do you have any big plans for the weekend?
I think we're just gonna have a big barbecue on Monday,
cool,
which is gonna be super fun.
Super. Well, it is Foster Care Awareness Month for the month of May, and of course we at Foster TV are really excited about that. So today we wanted just to talk about briefly 10 things that you can do to get involved with the foster community without actually being a foster parent. And I think the first one is really important. If you want to help out in the foster community, just go get background checked and get fingerprinted, and it's very simple to do that. And where would they go to do that?
You can usually go to like the State Highway Patrol, or you can contact the local licensing agency,
right,
and they can give you a code so you can go and do that.
Yeah, so just go and get background checked, and that's really easy to do. Another thing that you can do is babysit.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to get background checked, because really you shouldn't be babysitting unless you've been background checked.
Right.
Just to cover all the bases.
Right, and we couldn't do this show if I didn't have a really good babysitter. And so babysitters are just needed, and we as foster parents need breaks.
Yeah.
Another thing that I like that sometimes helps with us is sometimes somebody will just bring a meal in, and that's a really simple thing to do.
Yeah, it's great when you can come home and your neighbor or a friend has dropped off a casserole or something like that. It's always welcome, especially if you have a big family like you do, Rob.
Yep.
Like, it's always great. It also offers you the opportunity to maybe provide transportation.
Yep.
For kids to school, if there's a problem, if a kid needs to ride to work, if they're older.
Right.
Just go ahead and help them transport if you can.
Yeah, transport to school or from school. I always love it when we are shooting television and I go home and Grandma has bought pizza for everybody. And it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about dinner after I get done doing a show today. And so that's always good. So a meal and transportation is good. Especially like in my case, I have a lot of babies. So you have to realize, for me to take kids to school, that means I have to get all the babies dressed. I have to get them in their car seat. I have to load them up. I have to then take the kids to school. Then I have to unload those kids, get them, you know, so it's more of a process than you would think. So transportation is always good as well.
Yeah. You know what? Offer to run errands. Like, if they need dry cleaning, or if they need diapers and they're home with a sick baby.
Right.
Anything. It's always helpful.
Go pay, you know, the electric bill and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying you pay it, but maybe, hey, can you drop this? Can you run by the bank? Can you do this? Those things always help a lot. But that is something. If you've been financially blessed and you know a foster family, go down with their address to the utilities and say, hey, I would like to pay this utility bill for the month, and just do it as kind of a pay it forward type thing.
You don't even have to let them know that you've done it. The utility company will let you pay it as a gift.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to tell them.
And then when they get the next bill, they'll see that you have a credit because you paid it, and you'll be like, really cool.
Yeah.
One thing that's helped us a lot is a lot of times families that have babies in the church that are a little bit older than our kids, they'll have these really nice clothes, because you know, little kids don't stay in clothes for a long amount of time. And we have received boxes and bags and boxes and bags full of clothes. And that is a really good way to help the foster community. Let me put it in perspective. We don't make, or we don't get a lot of money for those types of things. And so we get some help, but any assistance that we can have to go above and beyond is really, really, really appreciated, because what we get doesn't cover really everything that you need.
But also, while you're talking about these big families, one thing they can do is have play dates with your kids. Your kids, those foster kids, they really need that socialization, and bringing your family over and bringing them together gives them some new friends.
Right. So get involved with the foster care community. These are some easy tips and some ways that you can be involved, and you can make a difference in these foster families' life. We'll be back after this.
It's Courtney from Foster Life. You see me every week, but what you don't know about me is that I have a million passions, but I'm specifically passionate about foster care policy, foster care kiddos, and really helping organizations that do other things for foster care kids. But we can't do that without you. We can't do anything without you, the viewers, and the people who work with us every day to keep kids safe and happy. Here at Foster TV, we're working with organizations to provide school supplies and duffel bags for kiddos so they don't go to new homes with garbage bags, wheelchairs for kids who need it, and things that you as foster parents know that Medicaid and other services don't provide. Braces for teeth and for other things. We are trying to do everything we can to make life easier and happier for these kids. Your donation to Foster TV will allow us to be able to turn 100% of our profit from you into those organizations and to help other kiddos who need it. For a while, and recently there's been some allegations about some physical abuse by the director of a campus in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, the CEO actually.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate. I am not a huge supporter, as most of our viewers know, of residential facilities. And when I read about this, it was pretty disheartening. Did you read the full article or watch the video?
We were briefed on it in the company that I work for, so they went through step by step.
Yeah, so I watched I read the article just because of who I am, and I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve sometimes. So I really didn't want to watch the video, but I hear from some of my worker friends and some other families that I work with that it was pretty graphic.
Yeah.
And we will never show that type of stuff on Foster Life or foster care. But I've had a lot of people that have asked me to weigh in, a lot of workers, a lot of families, a lot of professionals. And so here's my take. And I'm just going to put it out there. In no way, shape, or form is it ever okay to abuse a child, a teenager, or an adult. It's not okay. Working in that facility, we are trained on how to do restraints, and it's a pretty intense training. However, from what I read, I don't think those guidelines were followed. However, in the United States of America, we are innocent until proven guilty. And so, what I want to say from foster life is this. For everybody that's involved, our hearts, our prayers, and our thoughts are with you. We look forward to the justice system doing what it's designed to do to find the truth in this matter. And I think that will help. And that's really what I have to say about the situation. And it's very ungrateful. But I know that the justice system will work and it will be taken care of. When we come back, we're going to wrap up on Foster Life today, Friday, right before our 3-day weekend. Tristan is actually on vacation. He is still a part of our show, but he takes a lot of vacations. And you're getting ready to go on vacation again, too.
Not for a while, not until August, but I'm going again to the same place that he's
in. So. Well, if you look at Courtney's Facebook, she already has the countdown clock ticking.
It's like 79 days or something like that.
Right. So, May is Foster Care Awareness Month. And you know, foster care is a really big thing. And how I know it's a really big thing is when Sesame Street is putting a character that is a foster child on the show, that's for 439,000 kids that are in care. Now, you look at the caseworkers, GAL, JOs, foster parents, all the people that are involved with all of those cases, that affects a large population in the United States and around the world. And we have viewers from around the world. So my thing for you today is, for May, Foster Care Awareness Month, is even if you can make a small difference. Maybe you used to be a foster parent and you just really don't want to do that anymore. But you can always do something to help. It's kind of like Ethan and I, we're not going to foster anymore after our next children are adopted, but we're still going to be doing foster TV. We're still going to be a part of the foster care community. We're still going to advocate for you guys. And so if you could just choose to make a small difference, just something small. And if a bunch of people do that, big things can happen. Also, in being involved in the foster care community, it builds a voice. And we need a voice. Because there's a lot of really cool things about foster care, but there's a lot of really broke things about foster care. We need to build that voice, and the more people we have involved, it just builds that little rumble that makes a difference, that changes lives. I was meeting with our attorney the other day, and you know, if you're in foster care, you have the ability to have your education paid for. less than 10% of foster care kids in America take advantage of that benefit. Less than 10%. We need to build that voice so that next year it's 20%. And 2 years from that it's 30% and 40%. And make a difference. And we can do it if we all work together. I know we can. Monday on Foster Life, we're going to be live in Branson, Missouri at the Wildwood Indoor Mini Golf on Memorial Day. And Tristan and I are going to tee off in some mini golf, and we'll see who wins that. I know you're going to be on the show.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of entertainers. One of the girls that's going to be on the show is an entertainer in Branson, and she was adopted by her grandmother. And she's going to sing Miranda Lambert's song, The House That Built Me. And then we got another entertainer that's going to be on the show. Her name is Faye. And she's going to take us a few years back and do some Patsy Cline. And that'll be coming up on Monday's show. Have a safe and fun Memorial Day weekend and enjoy your Monday. And we'll see you back on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week.